Good afternoon, everybody. Hello, Felicia. Thank you for hanging out with me this afternoon. I know you're used to seeing me on Wednesdays, but I'm going to do our nature walk activity this afternoon on Friday. So, thank you everyone for hanging out with us. So I'm going to be walking around with my phone while I am sharing with you some of the trees and plants, some of the wild edibles that grow out here at Camp Courageous. And I'll show you pictures of them and give you little tidbits and facts and information about, kind of like I do with animals. I have a nice piece of paper here to help keep me on track, because my initial plan was to do like a whole lot of plants, but then you'd be here forever, and we don't want to be here forever. But just enough to kind of see some of camp, since a lot of people aren't able to come out and join us and be at camp right now for obvious reasons. I have myself a little sheet here to keep me on track so I don't go over time. All right. Okay. It's sunny but shady in some spots, and it's a little windy. So hopefully the wind won't blow too hard over the speaker, and you'll be able to hear me just fine. If you can't hear me, or if it's starting to look fuzzy or not right, just kind of send me a comment in the comment section so I can see if I can't get things lined up right. Okay. Hey Mindy, how are you? Good to see you. Hey Susie. Calvin, thanks for hanging out with us, sir. Good to see you. Hello, Dina and Natalie. There's Katie. She is our program director. And Mason. Mason comes to camp. Good to see you. And Dalton, he is our adventure coordinator. I don't remember the title. He's the adventure guy right now. Well, we don't have adventure, but you get what I'm saying. Hello, Sarah. Yes, it is cool today, Kay. It is a little chilly, but I got my jacket on with my Camp Courageous logo, and we're going to do just fine, okay? Krisha got her shirt. Okay, glad she got her shirt. So those of you who, again, signed up for camp this summer but won't be able to come for obvious reasons, please send your contact information to Sonia to get your free camp shirt at sonia@campcourageous.org. That's SONYA at campcourageous.org. And you want to send your name, your mailing address, and your t-shirt size so we can give that shirt to you, okay? Alrighty, so the first tree we're going to talk about is actually the one right behind me. This is called the white pine tree, okay? The white pine tree can grow up to 100 feet tall. The diameter of the tree can be, I'm going to turn this around if I can so you can see. Diameter of the tree can be, there we go. Can be 3 to 4 feet tall. It is the state tree for the states of Maine and Michigan, and its primary use is for construction lumber, a lot of craft projects. I'll turn this back around. So lots of construction work mostly is what the white pine is used for. Now it comes, the needles or leaves, we call them needles, but they're actually leaves. They come in bundles of 5, excuse me. I'm trying to separate it so you can see them and count them with me. Okay, let me hold that there. The wind's blowing. Let me turn this way. Can you count those leaves / needles? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bundles of 5 is how the needles come. And so if you're ever out with your family and you all are camping when things return to normal again, and you find a pine tree and you pick up some of the needles and you count 5, if you spell the word white, WHITE, that's 5 letters and 5 needles in the bundle. You got yourself a white pine tree, okay? The next pine tree is right over here. And there we go. This is the red pine tree. Now the red pine tree can get between 50 can get between 50 and 80. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? It keeps saying it's trying to reconnect. Okay, we're connected. The red pine tree can get between 50 and 80 feet tall, though some reports have said that it can get up to 100 feet around. And the needles or leaves for this tree come in bundles of two, as you can see here. They are about 4 to 6 inches in length and a very, very dark, deep green. I see that, Kyle, and I'm trying to make sure I stay within the right bubble of the Wi-Fi. My apologies for that. But this is the red pine. So out here at Camp Courageous, we have two types of pine, primarily the red and the white. During the Great Depression in the 1930s, pine tree plantation farms were planted to give jobs to the people who lived in the area so that they could provide for their families. And so a large part of camp contains a lot of those pine trees that were planted long time ago. So if you look here, you see all these trees here were planted during the Great Depression. And again, it was to give jobs to the people who lived in the area, so they could provide for their families. So neat little fact about the pine trees here. Now we're going to look at some of the smaller plants on the ground here. I've got some markers in place so that I can know what route I'm going to take and share them with you all. And we will start with this plant here. This particular plant is called garlic mustard. And this is what it looks like right here. I'll step back and you can see there's a pretty good bit of it right here. And if the camera were different here, you would see that there's a whole lot more out here. Garlic mustard is an invasive species. It is native to Europe, Asia, and Africa. The European settlers brought it to North America in the 1800s for uses for food and for medicines. However, one plant can produce hundreds and hundreds of seeds. And so they are a very, very, as I said earlier, invasive plant and can be very difficult to get rid of. Medicinally, you can take them and grind them up into a poultice and use it for insect stings and bites. As far as food is concerned, it has a very strong garlicky flavor and smell and can be used for pestos or salads if that's something you would like to do or decide to do. It sounds windy. Okay. So there's a toy in the background right now. Hang on a sec. Alrighty. So the next plants here, we have 3 plants we're going to talk about now. And they just happen to kind of be in this all area together. So I'll go through. Don't want to hold you up too long, but here we go. All right, so we have thistle, which is here. We have dandelions, which are kind of nestled in the thistle right here. And then we have the wild violets over here. So thistle and dandelion will oftentimes be confused because of the leaf shape and structure. So I am going to try to hold these up and show them to you so you can see the difference in the two. So this is the thistle and this is the dandelion. Now the thistle has a wavy structure, kind of feathered almost a little bit, and it's got little prongs on it to kind of discourage wildlife from eating it. It is a weed and it's got a pretty bad rep because it can reproduce quickly and spread very quickly across many fields. So a lot of farmers are not a fan of the thistle here. Dandelion here is not rippled or feathered like the thistle leaf, but The shape of the leaf looks like lion's teeth. In French, Dandelion. I said that wrong. I don't speak French. But the French said it looked like lion's teeth, which is how it got its name, Dandelion. The dandelion, all three parts of the flower or the plant are edible. The roots, the leaves, and the flower. You can use the smaller, younger leaves in salads. Usually the smaller, the better they taste. And then, of course, when the seeds are fully formed, as kids, we like to pick them up and grab them, and we blow them, and the wind carries them off up to 5 miles away, so that they can then kind of implant in the ground and start a new life wherever they are. Wild violets. Wild violets are native to North America. Their colors can range from blue to purple to white. And I'll show you a purple or the violet color and the white ones that we have here at Camp Courageous. So a lot of people will, of course, hear the word violet and think, oh, it's got to be, violet or a bluish color. They can also be a white color as well. And so we have the violet, and the white colored violet. You can eat the smaller, younger leaves in salads. You can also eat the smaller, younger flowers if you'd like to. There was a former staff who used to work here, Jeannie. She would say that she would collect some of the younger violets, rinse them off, clean them, and then when she put her ice tray in the freezer to freeze, she'd drop a little violet blossom or flower into each of the cubes, so that when her daughter would have her friends over, or company would come over, they'd have little violets in the ice cube. Just give it a nice little look, to make it aesthetically pleasing to the eye. So just something to think about if you ever decide to do that. I'm gonna move down here to the May apple. We've got looked like the beginnings of a box elder tree there. There's a May apple. And let's see if we can't find... Oh, here we go. So, see that little bit there? That is going to be the apple. That's going to be the apple. When the fruit does form, it's late in the summer, and it does not look like an apple exactly. The younger... Well, I'm sorry, not the younger part, but when it is ripe and mature, you can eat the apple, but the rest of the plant is poisonous. So it's not something you'd want to just pick up and start snacking on. Some other common names for the May apple are Indian apple or umbrella apple. Umbrella tree, because it kind of looks like an umbrella hanging over it. Okay? Next plant we have here is curly dock. This is the curly dock here. Now, some people will mistakenly call this wild rhubarb. This is not wild rhubarb, though it can be used as a rhubarb substitute for various recipes if you'd like to use it. It does have a more bitter taste than rhubarb. Some people think all rhubarb has a bitter taste. Depends on who you ask. But if you do eat the leaves, you want to eat the smaller, younger leaves before they get too mature, because then they're just really nasty and sour and really bitter to have. Okay? Doing all right with me? We got about 2 or 3 more plants, and then I'll let you go for the afternoon, okay? Let's see, what do we have? We have flowers, tree plants. So our trees that have flowers haven't quite popped yet. With the weather we've been having, it was a little warmer, and it got a little cooler, then it got warmer. Now they're talking about a possible polar vortex something. What in the world's going on? So our flowers on our trees have not popped yet. Actually, where I'm going to show our next plant, I'll show you some of our flowers. We've had dandelion potato salad usually during Easter family get together. That's pretty cool. I've never heard that before. I might have to look that up. That sounds kind of fun, actually. Any mushrooms there yet? We love morel. So some people have come out to search for morels. Katie Ryan, our program director, who I mentioned earlier, she absolutely loves searching for morels. Russ, one of our maintenance guys, he likes to come out looking for morels. Hadn't heard any information yet if any have popped yet. I suspect they probably have. I don't know where, though. I'm not a good morel mushroom hunter. But those two people, you could definitely find out more information from them. Alrighty, so this is our little area where we have our daffodils, and well, some of them, as you can see, have seen better days. But we've got some daffodils here that still look kind of nice. Hello. Hey. So our next, hang on just a second, we're gonna let the kids on their little scooter riding around. Next thing we're gonna look at is bedstraw. Bedstraw is a pretty neat plant in that it is sticky. Can you see that? It stuck to me. So bedstraw is used as a mattress filler a long time ago, before they had the stuff they put in mattresses now, like springs and foam and whatever else they use. They had bedstraw to stick in place and fill out your mattresses and pillows. Sometimes when we go on nature hikes, particularly with spring groups, which is what we usually have this time of year, we'll pick up a piece of bedstraw and put it on someone's back and wait and see how long it takes them to figure out it's back there. Now, I might forget I stuck that on me, but it's okay. I'll get it later. Say hello to these guys here. They see Dad and they're like, what's going on? This is Small Fry, and that's Cletus over there. Then we got the sheep here. Back to the, sorry, focus. See, back to the plant. So the next plant we're looking at is clover. Now clover, of course, people generally associate it with St. Patrick's Day. If you find a 4-leaf clover, it's considered good luck. Clover, if I'm not mistaken, is one of the few grasses that grows on all 7 continents in the world. So even in Antarctica, you can find clover there. It is a very sweet grass. If you have horses and the horses get into the sweet clover, you know how they're looking. Their mouths are drooling and dribbling because it tastes so good. Rabbits love clover. Guinea pigs love clover. All the animals love clover. Clover is an edible green or grass that humans can have as well. Like with most plants, the smaller it is, the better it tastes. That's one thing to keep in mind. The last plant we're going to look at is called wood sorrel. And I'm holding on to the clover here because oftentimes people will confuse the wood sorrel and the clover because they look so much alike. But I'm going to pick one of the wood sorrel leaves so you can look at the differences, and I'll point that out to you, okay? Wood sorrel, also called sour grass, got its name because of, well, it's kind of sour. The smaller it is, the better it tastes, like we learned with most other grasses and plants. The former staff used to work here, Jeannie, she shared one time that she did a wood sorrel upside down cake. So it's like a pineapple upside down cake, but instead of pineapple, it was wood sorrel. It was a rather cumbersome task. It took a very long time, and she said that was one and done for her, so she never did it again. But the wind is blowing. Hang on. I'm gonna get another. Let's do this one here. And we're gonna go walk over to where there is no draft so I can point it out to you. And this will end our nature walk for today. Yes, it's good to see you too. going on like it's time to eat, but it's not time to eat yet. Usually when Dad comes, though, it's time to eat. So this is the clover. Look at how that leaf is round there. You see that? You see that? Okay. Now has a heart-shaped leaf. So I'm gonna try to hold them up side by side so you see it better. There's a round shape and a heart shape for the leaves. And that's how you can tell them apart. Hang on. Here we go. My hands are dry because I've been washing them so much. The one up top is the wood sorrel leaf. The one at the bottom is the clover leaf. I'm try to hold that still. Push them closer so you can see the difference. See that heart shape? That's the wood sorrel. See how there is no heart? It's more of a rounded shape. That is the clover. And like I said, usually people will oftentimes confuse the wood sorrel and the clover because of the colors and because they are 3 leaves at a time. Alrighty. I think it's going to be it for today. Wait, it says I'm frozen with Wi-Fi. I think it kicked back up. Sorry about that. Yeah, I was kind of bouncing around camp to point out, of course, the plants. And so I apologize for that. I was probably jumping from like one Wi-Fi connection to the next. And so my apologies with that. I love science and nature. Thank you, Mason. Glad you do. The barn animals are doing good, Felicia. I'm thinking maybe next Wednesday when we do the animal show, we might do the goats. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. You guys should do a live stream for a hike around Picture Rocks. Pre-recorded. Yes, Calvin. So I did discuss doing a pre-recorded hike, that then we'll kind of do a voiceover thing. When I get all the technology in place to do so, I think that would be a really good idea. I'm glad you said that. Okay, this much room to click in the near future. Thank you, Kay and Krisha, for hanging out with us and checking in with us. I'm sure Katie and Russ hope for a lot of mushrooms as well. Alrighty. Thanks, you all, for hanging out with me. You all have a really good rest of your Friday. Have a great weekend. And I will see you on Wednesday for Courageous Critters with me, Mr. U. Have a good one. Take care, you all.